In this video, we're going to review domain and range, which we have talked about a little bit with the graphing of lines, where we did interval notation with the domain and range. This one's a little bit different because instead of having interval notation, instead of having a graph, and instead of having a continuous graph, which is a line or a curve, we have a set of inputs, which is what the domain is. The x values, remember the domain was left to right, which is how x changes. And the range is a set of output, the y's, which is the how it changes vertically, and so on. So in this case, when we have a finite set of points, we express our domain and range a little bit differently. So our domain in the skydiving example, and this is one of the examples on your worksheet, the domain, what were the set of inputs? The x values were the times. So for our domain, we are just going to list the times, 0, 4, 8, 12, and 16, okay? Those were just the set of inputs, okay? So that is the domain. And then for the range, we're going to just list the outputs, the heights. I know at 0 seconds we were at 10,000. I may have to look back. At 4 seconds we were at 9,744 feet. Change, there we go. 9,744 feet. At 8 seconds, we were at 8,976 feet. At 12 seconds, we were at 7,696 feet, 7696. And finally, I think it was 5904, but I better look to make sure. Yes, 5904. My mind is a steel trap. So 5904 for the domain and range. So again, the domain is a list of inputs or x values. Range is the list of outputs or y values. So one more example that's on your worksheet. In the examples, the domain and range of this relation, the domain, again, is just a list of x coordinates. So the -3, 0, 2, 9, and 23. And the range is a list of y coordinates. 14, 7, 0, -18, and -99. Now, once again, domain and range, order really doesn't matter when you're listing them. It does with interval notation. Remember, negative infinity to infinity when you're dealing with those graphs. But with these, where you're just listing values, the order really does not matter. And that is a quick review of domain and range.